about. So Coach, I'll go ahead and let you start us off, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and great to be able to see everyone. Obviously, we're super excited about the 6 newcomers that we're bringing along. I think we were able to really address getting some great experience for our team. All of them have great, various strengths that are going to really help build the core of our players that we currently have. Bringing in much needed depth and size was a priority for us. But I want to be clear, our staff has always been one of the hardest working staffs in the country. I thought this year we did a much better job being able to adapt and trying to kind of find a better system for recruiting out of the portal. We had staff monitoring the portal since March 18th when it went live, watching film on kids, and really, we made it kind of an effort to try to be one of the first calls coming through when kids hit the portal and kind of knowing what direction we wanted to go. And I can't say enough of, we love to build the relationships with kids and their families. And so it's a massive undertaking when you take over the portal in such a short amount of time. And I can't say enough about our kids, the work that our players did in the portal. They were phenomenal as we brought kids into campus to show what kind of program we are. They did a lot of, hosting of visits and kind of showing who we were. And then, on top of the staff with the amount of time that, they sacrificed, and really the last 6 weeks, it's kind of been like no other. So we're excited. Now it's our job to, put those pieces and the bonding. It will help. We're going to be taking a trip over to Croatia this summer. So those 10 practices right away and the bonding that we'll get over in Croatia are going to be really invaluable by putting so many pieces together.
We'll go ahead to Kareem Copeland first.
Hey, Brenda, how are you?
Kareem, good.
Thank you for doing this. We appreciate it. I just kind of wanted to go back to what you said at first, said you wanted to address depth and size, such as life in the portal where there's, a lot of turnover all over the place. So how did you kind of address or specify those two areas? I'm assuming depth is just from a numbers perspective that you guys kind of had to fill there, but also size, and it looks like also, there's some defensive-minded players there also. So why were those the things that you really wanted to check off?
Well, I'll address the depth first. You've seen, even last year when we had 12 players on the roster, it just appears there's been a lot more injuries in the state of our game. So I felt like we had to address those numbers were really important for us. Really, the portal is the luck of the draw every year. I'll say most often you can find those wings that are in the portal, but post players and point guards are high premium. And for whatever reason, last year you didn't have that kind of depth and size in the portal. This year there was so much from post and forwards that we were able to go after. So that was huge because that was a much needed area for us. So we were really able to be able to address that, for the size and the depth that we needed inside.
Looking a little bit forward, what is the challenge of, so many new faces? And I feel like we kind of talked about this in the past a little bit, but what is just the challenge of, so many new faces coming from all different places, of once you guys actually get on the court, getting everybody to gel and being on the same page and getting everybody to understand what you want to do and all of that kind of stuff as quickly as possible?
Yeah. It's the new reality. This is how it's going to be every year. I think our staff does it better than most. I think for us, it's not our first rodeo where, 2 years ago when we had the influx of talent, when, the Brene Alexander, Lavender Briggs, that group came in, Abby Myers, So it's very similar. So I think the fact that we've already done it is very helpful. And our staff is really, really good and prepared. And then, like I said, I think it's an extra cherry on top. You want to say the bonus is, having the foreign trip, the fact that those 10 practices and, the amount of days we'll be over in Croatia together, that's like taking, a road trip, an extended road trip. And that is just going to be invaluable for us really building that chemistry early in the summer.
Boom, that's perfect. I'll share with some others.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Sam.
Hey Brenda, happy belated birthday.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Thanks for doing this. I gotta first ask, which AI Brenda clip is your favorite one that that y'all have been putting out? Which one do you like the best?
I don't know. They just keep getting better and better. So, and I like that they make me look like I can really dance. So, yeah, and those props go to Joe Glowacki, our video director. He is extremely talented.
On the basketball side, I know like what Kareem said, the forwards were a big thing. I want to ask about the wings as well. I mean, Kaylene was added so long ago, it's kind of hard to remember, but I mean, an extremely talented player, obviously. And I just want to know, like, how do you envision her slotting in? Because you guys have now a lot of that kind of versatile ball handling wings with Bree, Shy, her, even Saylor, I guess, to an extent can play the wing. Like, where do you kind of see her slotting in alongside, that five and that rotation?
Yeah. Well, one, I love that we're going to be back to having competition. This past season, at times, if different things happened, we didn't have the numbers to be able to, really be able to coach and teach, with the lack of depth. So that's going to grow every single player's game. And, then it's our job to put the five best players on the floor. And we've done that. If that ends up being four perimeter players within our versatile offense, we'll be able to do that. If that's two bigs and three, if the people are in foul trouble, we can slide them in different directions. So, with our offense, I mean, we'll be able to, from my end, it's a good problem to have. I'm excited that we'll finally have that depth at those positions that we need.
And then for Saylor, she's kind of a unique player, almost like an incredible rebounder, but also can shoot the three a little bit. Can you just explain kind of what you see her role being? Is she a four? Can she play some five? Like where does she kind of positional versatility, and what was the big thing when you were looking at her in the portal in terms of her skill set?
Well, Saylor's someone that, we offered back. We were her first offer in high school. So the history with Saylor, her family, just an awesome opportunity for us to bring her back home. She's got the experience from playing at UConn and as well as in the SEC at Arkansas, and she's super versatile. The fact that she's going to be able to play multiple positions, and the fact that she can extend out to shooting the three. I think people haven't really even seen her passing ability. She's really, really skilled, and then she's a double-double, on the glass. I don't see her as a five. That's we address that with the portal needs and the size that we were able to bring in, but she's going to be on the court. She knows how to win and she competes.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Go ahead, Vasilius.
Hi, Brenda. This question comes courtesy of my colleague Chick Hernandez, and we were curious about the origin of the AI dancing and the "Come Party with Brenda" hashtag that comes along with it. Where did that come from, and how's the reaction been from your players, from the families? We just gotta know.
Yeah. Well, it started in office between Joe Glowacki and Jessica Imhoff, our assistant coach and advanced scout, and I guess they came across it. So it was their creativity. Joe executed it as the video director. And then the hashtag was through the season. It had been used at a point in the season with the hashtag "Come Party with Brenda." So once the first one took off, and boy, did that have a response, kind of virally, it just even out recruiting the amount of people who had something to say about it. So Then it, all hands on deck, even my twin boys, they had an idea that I shot over to Joe based on one of the moves, and the one that had Bree and Shy and putting the players in. So, you get this creativity, and then the execution is through Joe. So it's been kind of a fun off season little thing that has really picked up a lot of steam.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ed.
Brenda, I think you may have said this in the past a while back, but I think you said that there's only one team that's truly happy at the end of the season. So I'm curious, the way the season ended, how much did that drive kind of your and the coach's activity in the transfer portal?
Yeah. I don't know, from our end, we always have a standard, and I don't think our staff changed anything from a year ago. It's just like I said, things broke in our favor this off season. And I said it before. I mean, unfortunately we were finished early, but we were able to spend more time in the portal than when you're trying to win games in the NCAA tournament. So there's a plus minus to all of that, because it's really difficult. I don't think people understand the amount of hours that go into watching film and executing this, the phone calls that you've got to make in such a short amount of time. I mean, truly, until we finished yesterday, these have been 14, 16-hour days since March. So I'm happy for our staff that starting, after workouts today at 2 o'clock, they'll finally get to come up for air, rightly so, in May. But it's really the only month that it happens. NIL is a real thing, and getting the collective together at Maryland. I can't say enough about the support from Damon and Kaylene. It looks much different than it was a year ago. So all of those are factors now that are invaluable to women's basketball in our program.
And then one more question. I mean, I know it's early, but do you feel like this roster is capable of returning Maryland to national championship contender status?
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to get to be able to get back to playing how Maryland basketball looks. Our standard, was hit with, lack of depth and size and athleticism last year. No, can't say enough about that team though, and what they did to try to, get us our 14th straight NCAA tournament. But yeah, we're going to be able to get back and get out in transition. We're going to have size and rebounding. We've really taken a hit in our rebounding. We're going to be a lot more athletic to be able to defend the way we want to defend. And we won't have players, conserving possessions. I mean, when you look at as great of seasons Bree and Shy had, I mean, they had to play a lot of minutes. And, you have to kind of sometimes, conserve in that end. And, like I said to Shy in her offseason meeting, she's got to get back to the way she knows how to defend. But we asked a lot of her this past season from a responsibility of the point and scoring and having to do so much. So I'm excited for us to, really be able to extend that depth and play how we know how to play.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Kareem.
Hey, again, quickly, could you say a few words about Christina and Amari, what really catches your eye? And also kind of following up on that, you kind of just, you touched on it real quick right there about the size and the rebounding. That was, it was just a deficiency last year, maybe last couple of years. And how important or in the forefront of your mind was, hey, we really need to kind of get back or address that? Or was that also, like you said, sometime, or was it a matter of who was available in the portal, kind of like you touched on in the beginning?
Yeah, both. I mean, clearly we knew we needed size and rebounding, and then it becomes what's available in the portal. And there were a lot more players in that forward post position this offseason that we were able to go after. So, Amari is somebody, again, we recruited her out of AAU in high school. She visited unofficially, has family in the area. So 6'6", and can run the floor. is finally healthy. She's had a career that's been up and down with, a lot of injuries. So, to utilize, her, ability, shot blocking, defensively, having been in the UConn program, she, knows how to perform at the highest level. She can score. I'm excited. We're going to be able to have, a true center there, and you're not going to find a better kid. I can't tell you from her visit, just our fans and everyone are going to really love her. Just a sweet person, a gentle giant, is what I said about her. And then Chris is probably the opposite personality wise, is just this energy, and really has a high motor. On the court, she's gonna, her defense is ahead of her offense, but I think her offense will be, really fit well because of what she's going to have around her a little bit more. It'll be a little bit easier with, first and foremost in transition, her ability to score. She played 3-on-3 with Shy Sellers, so they have a great chemistry. So you'll probably see that in the pick and roll, and her getting out in transition. And I mean, she's a player that I think is going to excel really well because she's really athletic, a shot blocker, defender, and big time rebounder. So both of them are really going to give us a great presence in that forward post position.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Coach. Real quick, can you just tell me kind of what happened, and just explain with Maya, like what was the situation that had her leave? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but since she signed now, just kind of what happened there.
Yeah. No, I mean, not really much to say. She's a great kid, and we were fortunate to get to know her, but everyone has to, make the right decision for themselves, and she decided to go in a different direction.
And then in terms of I'm not even the name. I'm definitely gonna butcher, but Ozzy. What's her timeline? I know she had a leg injury, but what do you expect her to be back?
Yeah, hard to say until we can get her on campus. So, you're right. I mean, she's still, she's graduating from her junior college, so those are the first steps. And then once she's able to get up here this summer, that will be where the evaluation comes. She's doing rehab, but we're going to be smart with her. There's no need to rush her back, within this. I mean, both her and Emma, we know coming in off of knee injuries, some of our players, we got to get everyone in house, and when you get older, you've got a lot more. So, from her end, she didn't have surgery until March. So, we're really gonna, evaluate it and see if it makes sense, month to month where she's at.
And then, do you have any like good stories or anecdotes that you remember from recruiting any of these players in the portal? Like, did anything stand out to you about kind of the process and finding them, whether it was getting to know them or their family, or like a call, anything like that?
Like I said, it's really amazing how quickly everything happens. So you don't have more of your history is based off of for some of them when you've recruited them in the past, like Amari DeBerry's mom showed me a picture of her when she was in high school, and she had a Maryland sweatshirt under the Christmas tree. Those are kind of some of the neat images that are fun when you go back and you talk about past things. Saylor's commitment was pretty cool because we were in a staff meeting and she surprised us and walked in and said she's coming home. And what I thought was really cool, which is kind of how we, it lines up with who we are as a family. She had all of her family there, her parents, her siblings, and her, coaches. And so like all of that family and support of friends were there with her that day. So that was an awesome, experience to be able to have. Kaylene, Smikle, I guess if you want to talk about her personality. She said she just didn't want to call and just commit. So she kind of started hers, layering it to me like, I've made my decision, and kind of started talking like when you get a call that you're going to get dropped. So I really, at the time thought we were going to get dropped, and then she let me know she was coming. So I didn't appreciate that one, but it definitely gives insight to her personality. But I'll say we're just getting great, not only great kids, just great families, and that's what I love when you're having to recruit so quickly out of the portal is just the families that are coming on board with us.
I got one more, but in terms of Sarah, obviously an incredible player in the A10. And like you said, now Cheyenne won't have to do as much, primary ball handling. I mean, I know you said last year you were looking for a portal guard. This year you were looking for one. Was she your number one priority? And then I guess my one question about is the height. Do you like, is that a concern for you at all? Or do you think that that'll translate to the Big Ten fine?
Yeah. No, she was our number one priority. We knew she was graduating, so you always, when you have some of those kids that are graduating and have their 5th years through COVID, that was a huge area. She was player of the year. The size, we've had Katie Benson, so that if you can play, you can play, and she's done it, even in her non-conference level slate of the schedule, she's done it at a really high level. And I love like she's a scoring point guard. She can shoot the 3, which is going to really extend that for us. And she can pass. So everything else is it's going to be exciting. And I think we will. It's not to say like Shy and Bree at times aren't going to be backing up. And again, we're going to put the best 5 out there. Kendall Walker, again, is a kid, as soon as she, gets comfortable as well, is going to be a great presence for us in her career as well. So we're going to have a lot of options.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you having on.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Hold on, Brenda, Kareem. I'm gonna have everybody, these TVs. Get them off here. I think they all have it set to auto record. All right, go ahead.
Cool. Hey, thanks for giving me a couple extra minutes. I appreciate that.